Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. Max, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How was your trip? Tell me about it.
It was great. It was great. Made a vlog. Gonna work on that pretty soon. The game was terrible, all right, as you guys know. All right, they got their fucking ass whooped, but it didn't ruin the trip. If I known that they were gonna get blown out, which I knew there was a high possibility it was gonna happen, I would still do it. So Cincinnati's amazing. Their fans are amazing. I really appreciate fans who are, you know, passionate about their team. They actually rep their team. They know about their team. I can't say that for LA fans. LA fans are the absolute worst when it comes to football because they're all over the fucking map. Just take Max as a prime example. He's an Eagle fan. He doesn't live a fucking inch from fucking Philadelphia. It's just because that's who he grew up liking as a kid. Like, there's no team that LA can call their own. The closest thing is the fucking Rams and Raiders. So, I mean, shout out to Cincinnati. Shout out to the fans out there, bro. I had an amazing time. I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of the vlog because there's a certain point where I do the outro and it's like immediately after the game. So you get my raw like reaction to it.
Were you mad at what I responded to the picture you sent me, or
No, I mean it was expected. I mean it was
did you
whatever.
laugh a little?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I knew this. I knew this, Max. Come on.
He sent me a picture like with the field with great picture, and I was like a picture taken moments before disaster, and then he never responded for like 2 days, and I was just like, all right.
Oh man. Well, I had my
I
phone on
went to
Do
the
Not
Intuit Dome.
Disturb. You said
I
what?
went to the Intuit. I went to the Intuit Dome. Saw the
How was
Clippers.
that?
Saw their first home win. It was awesome. Staples kind of sucks compared to it. All honesty.
Oh man.
First of all, you don't even have to show like it's pretty like modern and futuristic. It's like very the seats are all close, like the wall is cool. Saw Wemby, ridiculous. He had 9 blocks. It was like
Damn.
unbelievable. Yeah, it was crazy. That's the only reason I went. Took my dad.
Yeah.
It was awesome, man. I think the Lakers got to step their shit up. To be honest, they have is just the pedigree. I truly feel like the Clippers are, in certain terms, a better run organization. They have an owner with more money, an owner that will spend much more, brand new arena, just kind of better, a really good coach. Not saying he's better than Tyronn Lue's better coach than JJ Redick.
Yeah. I get
Like
you.
not you're in like the Clippers have some unfortunate things about them, right? Like injuries and stuff.
Mm.
But it's not like the Darvin Ham thing for like 2 years. You're like, what is this idiot doing? You know what I mean? Like that stuff with the Clippers hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I'm glad you went, bro. I'm not surprised that the energy's. I wouldn't say it's better. I think that's a bad word for it because I think Staples, when playoff time gets going, the Lakers are something special. I think it is a special arena to be in, especially like when it first opened. But throughout the
I,
years, it has really been laid back.
yeah, I just think it's just so priced out so many real fans.
Yeah.
Like if you go to an OKC game, I'm sure it's like just electric. Or like you think about Oracle before they moved to the Chase Arena. It's just kind of like that. Unfortunately, it's such a celebrity thing to do. Is like it's kind of like a social event to go to a Laker game. It's not really just about the fans.
I
You know what I
felt
mean?
the
That's
same way with the Raiders. The Raiders are a prime example of a stadium that's it's more of an attraction than a home for the Raiders. Every
yeah, that's
team
a good way
takes
to
over
say it.
that stadium. You know.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Um,
because I would say, well, I would ask you this: when you were a kid and you're going to the black hole, was it ever like what's the ratio? Like,
no,
what
it's
would
not
you
even
say that?
close. I would say it's 80-20 at the very most.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
and that's most Rams games. It's like 70-30. It's
And
like other
that's
team.
that was the Bengals game that I went to. It was about 80-20. I wouldn't say there was no Raider fans, but I would say about the majority of the stadium was Bengals. You like I was the lone guy that was cheering for the fucking Raiders in the section. Like that's how it's supposed to be. That's home field advantage. And you rarely see that in sports these days with
Did
all the
people
money.
like shocked that you made the trip out?
No, no, not at all.
Were people
Bengal
like, that's
fans
pretty
were cool.
cool? You came all the
Yeah,
way out from one.
yeah, yeah.
So real quick before we get into like the week, I mean, you've been to. Let's just recount where you've been. You've been to the Oakland. You've been to Allegiant,
Kansas City,
Miami,
Denver,
Denver,
and
Cincinnati.
San Diego. Qualcomm.
What's like your top three of those?
Definitely number one, Kansas City. They're, as far as a football standpoint, they got the
And
best
to be
stadium.
honest, you did go before it became a dynasty. It wasn't like
Yes, I went Alex Smith days, which they were still they
good.
still had a 13-win season that year, so they were really good. But number one, Kansas City. It was electric. It was loud. It was a high stakes game. The Raiders, them and the Raiders had the same record, so it was a big game. A lot going into it, so you felt the energy. It was special. That's one of the best games I've ever gone to, as far as like energy wise.
I'm just talking
Second,
about strictly the stadium though. You still think it's number one?
yeah, number one, not even close.
Okay.
I would say second is Oakland. Just me personally, just I like the nostalgia that it brought, just the tailgating, the experience that you got going to a Raider game. It was unlike any other. Like I don't think
Fans.
I don't think any stadium can replicate that. No matter what anyone does. Probably the closest thing that I can think of is maybe the Buffalo Bills. You know, they do it pretty hardcore out down there, I heard, like with tailgating and stuff. But there's nothing like an Oakland Raider game in the old Coliseum. And then Cincinnati's pretty up there, bro. They got some nice shit, man. And everything's so convenient. They have free like transportation to games. The stadiums are so close. I didn't get to do the stadium tour for the Bengals, but I did a stadium tour for the Reds. The Reds and the Bengals stadium.
Oh, Great
Max,
American Ballpark.
yeah, I did a full that's gonna be the majority of the vlog, but those stadiums are, I would say, like a mile apart. Like they're super close to each other, so everything is so nearby.
Yeah, I will say one thing just to round this out. Intuit Dome, it was so convenient to get in and out. There's like a little bridge. I don't know if you've been to SoFi. It's a joke. It sucks. It is such a
Not excited
poorly
to go.
managed.
How
Yeah.
long has it been out, Max? The SoFi, like what,
2020
3 years?
it came out when like no one was there.
Yeah,
So it's been out 4 years. And I went the year after. I went the first game where they played the Bills after they got the ring. And it wasn't the stadium's not bad. It was hot as hell because they have no AC.
right.
But I'm just talking about strictly in terms of like getting in and out. It was such a fucking joke.
Yeah, I bet.
It was a calamity.
I still haven't been to SoFi. I'm not all that excited or eager to go. It's like if it happens, it happens. I'm not going out of my way. So we'll see. But amazing time in Cincinnati. I had a lot of fun. I look forward to it. Hopefully, I think the Raiders play Philly next year, so maybe MJC.
Have the
will
Raiders
be-
ever won a game like you travel to?
Yes, Denver. They won the Denver game.
Okay,
OT.
There you go. There you go.
But the second game that I ever been to that's a blowout. So only the second time. Every game I've ever gone to before that, all of them have been one touchdown games. That's how close they've
Yeah,
been.
that's nice. Makes me think of the time I went to a Lake game. They're down 40 after like 20 minutes. I'm like, ugh, I just want to leave.
Oh my god! All right, so let's get into some football, guys. Week 9 is concluded, all done with. I got a pretty good knowledge of what happened. Obviously, the morning games I didn't get to watch like very closely, obviously, because I was at the game. But I got to see a good amount of the afternoon games, and then obviously the Sunday night and Monday night game. This podcast is going to be more of a lot of trades. We're doing this on the trade deadline, election night as well. So a lot of trades has been going down, man. So this is the way we're going to do it. We'll talk about the game in itself, and then we'll be like, hey, the moves that this team made. All right, so there's a couple teams that I want to start with. Let's go with the Washington Commanders. Okay, so they get the dub over the New York Giants. They are what, 7-2, Max?
Yeah, it seems like they're in control of my division.
Yeah,
Pretty
I can't
handedly.
wait. I cannot wait for them to play the Eagles. I don't know when it happens. Is it this week? Do you guys play them this week?
No, we're playing the Cowboys. I think we play them 2 weeks later.
Well, I think they're all in. I think it's obvious. I know it's hard to say all in because obviously what they gave up for, if you guys haven't heard, breaking news with Marshawn Lattimore going to the Washington Commanders for a what, Max? Third round pick, fourth round pick?
Yeah, I don't know. I really was going to say, why are you saying it like they gave up the house?
I mean,
I don't think about what they gave up for Jalen Ramsey.
true,
2 first.
true.
And I understand Marshawn Lattimore is not the best corner in football. He maybe was that his rookie year. But to me, you're getting a premium cornerback in the NFL when he's healthy, when he's on, whatever you want to say, like for a third and some change. No problem. And one, if it don't work out, you can cut him. You're not taking on all that money. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of dead cap for the Saints, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a brilliant move, and I can't believe the Saints sold him for that low. And I understand he's 28. He's not young, but I think it's a great move. I was shocked for that was all they got. I would think you could get like a high second.
Yeah, I think the injuries played a part of it, obviously, and
Hamstring.
Hamstring injury. So they're getting an injured player. Maybe it's like a Devontae Adams situation where it's like, oh, I feel fine. I'm good to go now that I'm on a winning team. But
definitely needed a corner too. They definitely
I'm
sure they're looking at the Eagles like, yo, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. We can't cover them with these idiots. Yeah. No offense, I'm not just saying idiots in general, but I'm saying they're like, oh, we definitely need a guy with more talent. Definitely do.
And who kills the Commanders? It's AJ Brown. I know AJ Brown's hurt right now, so we'll see how that happens. But Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, they kill the Commanders. So they're obviously gearing up to beat the Eagles. And I love the move. I know a third round pick may not seem big right now, but I do think that's a good compensation to do when you're a team like the Commanders, where you're trying to build something for the future. Obviously, like you're trying to keep it in perspective. Like, yeah, we're having a good year this year, but the Commanders have holes still, so they need those draft picks. So I would say this is
I disagree.
You don't think so?
They need a first. They need like a second. Yeah, but they have one, and you know this as well as I do. They have a rookie quarterback, and whatever they gave up, it's like, oh, we have the money. We don't have to really necessarily worry. It's not like you're a team that's $50 million over the cap. And it's like, damn, we need cheap young players. Like, no, we're going to be able to go out and spend to get players. Because, one, tell me a highly paid player on their team. McLaurin, the Jonathan Allen, Frankie. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's no one. You're like, damn, that guy's contract's really eating it up. I'll look it up as you talk, but this is just a smart move. It's just smart. It's like not a big deal. Like no problem.
Yeah. What's his contract? Do they have him for next year, Max?
Yeah, they do, because he had a big contract with what's his name. Just to put in perspective, Deron Payne and Terry McLaurin are the only two Commanders making over $20 million this year. That's their cap number.
And nobody's really due to get.
And after that, it's Andrew Wiley with $9 million.
Yeah, and they don't really have a young guy that's due to get paid really next year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so next year it's going to be Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. These guys are all $20 million plus, and then $10 million. It's like no big deal. They're going to have so much fucking money. It's going to be ridiculous because that's the thing. That's what we know. We know the system. It's the Eagles with Wentz. It's Seattle with Wilson. Like they're going to have money to spend. So that's what I'm saying. The third round pick's not that bad.
Maybe
and that third round pick one is Jahan Dotson. That's the pick that one of the picks they used was Jahan Dotson.
That's true. So they traded Jahan Dotson basically for Lattimore. It's a good point to bring up. Look,
yeah, he's on the books for 2 more years. One.
As far as Lattimore goes, though, I don't know if you've seen the buy sell hold that I did for players, but Marshawn Lattimore was on there. I put him on the sell. Just because I thought the Saints needed to sell a guy like that. I think it was the perfect time. Like you said, obviously you thought you can get a little bit more for him. But at times, I'm just going to be honest, he looked like the third best corner on his team with Paulson Adebo and your other boy. I'm forgetting his name.
Taylor. Oh, my God. Number 1.
Yes.
What's his name? Yeah. I will say this one.
Alontae Taylor. There you go.
Yeah. Are you okay? We talked about the Commanders, so let's go the Saints. What do you think about the Saints? I don't know if we had. I don't even think we included them on the team one.
Hmm.
But overall, Dennis Allen, long overdue in my opinion. Trash. You lose to the Panthers. It's not even the Panthers lost. They're like, oh, this is where it broke. Dude, you guys have sucked since week 3.
Yeah.
So I'm just surprised there wasn't more of a fire sale. Like I don't know
I
why Cam
mean,
Jordan's still there.
I'm kind of laughing at everyone who bought some pretty big stock in the Saints after week 2. I'm so glad that us as a podcast pumped the brakes and said, let's hold, let's see it another week. Because everyone's looking really dumb right now. I know they have a lot of injuries. You know, Derek Carr went down for a certain period of time. Chris Olave just can't stay healthy. It sucks to see him get hurt again. But this is the 6th head coach that Derek Carr has been a part of that's gotten fired, and whether or not it's his fault or not, you just do not want to be a head coach when you're having Derek Carr, because you wind up getting fired some way or another. This is what happens. Max kind of hit it right on the nail before the season. We had a conversation about in our preview who would be the first head coach that you would put money on to get fired. And Max was all in on Dennis Allen. He said Dennis Allen's on the hot seat. He should be the first one to get fired. And sure enough, he gets fired. He wasn't the first one, but
who was the first one?
The first one was who was it? I think he is the first one. Is he?
Saleh
got fired. There you go, from the Jets.
You were on that one.
Yeah, and I was on Saleh. So these are 2 head coaches that we both had a little sniff that it can happen. They suck, bro. They're just not that good. They have a lot of injuries. Their defense is old. Their offense is not all that good. Like, Shaheed is down. They have really no future to look forward to. They paid Alvin Kamara, which I don't know why. I would feel like that would be a guy that you can sell on, honestly.
I think he's going to be a free agent sooner than later.
No. He signed an extension, Max. That's like recent. They just signed him to an extension. So he's gonna be.
So why would you ever do that? That's what
I don't know, bro. So I don't know where the Saints go from here. I just know that the Derek Carr experiment is over. You need to move on. You need whether it's Rattler.
Well, it's not just I know you say that and you're right. It's not just Derek Carr. It's time for a true reset. Because
they went like half in. Like, I know they signed Derek Carr.
I think they have talent, and that's tricked them into thinking they could compete. But it's like you really don't have enough. Like yeah, you can win a couple games you're not supposed to win, and you'll lose a few games you're supposed to win, right? But it's just they're not good enough to, like they're here and they want to be here, and sometimes they get right in the middle and they're like, oh, we should keep trying to compete. We'll get Derek Carr. It's like, no, it's time to reset this shit. It is time. Blow it up. Cam Jordan, goodbye. Trade him or cut him. Do whatever. You got rid of Lattimore. See, to me, if you're doing this, Demario Davis is gone. Jordan Cameron's gone. Matthew's gone. Anyone else? Like, why? What is the point? I get you might get a 5th or 6th, but it's over, bro. The season's over. The fans already hate you. You fired your coach. It's done. You're not going to do anything. You might as well get a few more picks, because what have we talked about, Juan? They're over the cap every year the last 3 years, like bad. And so how can they get players? Well, they need to get young, cheap players, and then they can get a quarterback, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and they've been doing
too much time talking about these fucking losers.
They've been going on the defensive end, getting some young guys, but I think on the offensive side, they've been lacking, dude. Like, it's really only been Chris Olave. They struck gold with Shaheed. But he's always hurt. Like, he's a guy that, like, you can't really depend on. Like, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of problems.
Again, like, you think about them and you're like, they have some good pieces, but they have to realize they're not a competing team, and they keep trying to be, and it's just going to hamper them from truly competing. Like, you need to have a year where you're like 5-11. Maybe that's this year. Maybe it's like this is the year.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's go to a really good team. Arguably one of the best teams in the league. Detroit Lions, man. I wanted to talk about them because they made a big splash today. I feel like I feel like it's one of the most underrated moves to make for a team. It's one of those moves where it's like they didn't give up shit for a really good player, and it's gonna benefit them like so much in the end of the season. They beat the Green Bay Packers, dominating fashion on the road. We'll get into the Packers after this. I do want to say my little 2 cents on the Packers on what they should have done. But the Lions, Max, they wind up getting Za'Darius Smith from the Cleveland Browns. They winded up giving up a 7th-round pick for him. And
Wow.
they ended up giving up a 5th and a 6th. And the Browns gave up Za'Darius Smith and a 7th. So home run move. You were like, why don't you do this? Like it's no brainer. Like this is what you do. I think Za'Darius Smith is a perfect player for the Lions. He fits the culture. He fits the DNA of them. He's gonna help them out big in January. What do you think, Max?
You can't let the sack numbers fool you with this guy because he's just a game wrecker. He's really good. Again, he's not elite like he was like when he was on the Packers and stuff. You remember like how good he was. He's still really good. Like, man, he's a great second fiddle. It makes me wonder, do you think they do this trade if Hutchinson's healthy? I would think you still would do it, right? Like you just get another pass rusher.
Yeah.
Now, is this trade next year like going to look even better? Yes, because I think if they can keep him for next year, he's just a great second piece and great pass rusher and great run stuffer. And they desperately need this because with Hutchinson out, they need someone with some talent who can win. And I don't know if Davenport's coming back, but he's unreliable. And Za'Darius Smith is reliable. I love the move. Great job. And they kicked the Packers' ass. So it's kind of like, hey, they just proved they can win without Hutchinson and generate some pressure. And they did. In my opinion, they did a good job. But I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you were able to watch. They were sending blitzes. They were like, oh, we got to kind of blitz. We got to get a little creative. But the NFL, you know this one. If you can win with your front four, it makes your life so. Like the Chiefs every week are just winning with their D line and then an occasional free rushing, like a great blitz call.
Yeah,
it just helps.
I've just on the Lions part, man. I'm such a big fan of the Lions, bro. It just seems like every week they impress me more and more every single time, and I just love the way that they play. They know their identity. Like they know who they are. They're tough nose. They go for it on 4th down. They have like crazy pieces everywhere. And like their defense may not all be there with Aiden Hutchinson, but man, do they have some fucking playmakers and they have some fucking dogs, bro. Like Kirby Joseph has to be one of the most underrated players in the league, man.
We have talked about him a lot, and it's kind of funny because I remember like in recent like memory, like we were like, what about these young guns on the line? You're like, yeah, Branch, Hutchinson, really good. Arnold, and then it's like he seems to always be like the last guy, right? Like a Lee McNeil, and it's like, oh, Kirby Joseph, yeah, he's a stud. He's really fucking good.
He's really good, man.
By the way, they threw out Brian Branch on some bullshit, but
that was him and Puka. Like, what the hell, dude? Let's talk about the Packers just for a little quick second. I do want to say this, Max. I don't think Jordan Love should have played in that game. I think this game had a perfect opportunity to have Malik Willis. It was raining. It was ugly. I thought the Packers had a better chance winning ugly with Malik Willis with running the ball 40 fucking times than passing the ball 40 times with
I would agree with you 100%.
Obviously an injured Jordan Love.
They definitely called the game on offense like it was a sunny day. And I was like, dude, it's a typhoon. Like the pick he threw right before the half, it makes me think like maybe the ball slipped a little bit too. And it's just a wet, nasty game. And it's like, this is a perfect game for Malik Willis just to run, quarterback designed run, like
and
trick
they had
play.
The bye week. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get healthy.
And then it also doesn't kind of hurt the psyche of your team. It's like, damn, we got our asses kicked with our guys. Like, we lose with Malik Willis. It's like, oh, it's Malik though. Like, we had a fight though. So. Yeah. And I do think that game could have been closer than it. Like, I think they kind of got away from the Packers with that mistake right before the half. I think Kirby Joseph with the pick 6.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. The Packers are in still good position. They still have to play the Lions again. So we'll see how that game goes. But bye week coming up, they need to get healthy. I still like the Packers Just Jordan Love is he's just not healthy right now, and it's obvious. The last game and a half, really, you can see it. All right, let's go to the Chicago Bears. Stay in the NFC North. They end up losing to the Cardinals. Caleb Williams, Max, got sacked, like 5 times in this game, probably even more.
Yeah, and there's some weird stuff on like Twitter of like DJ Moore's like over it. He's like done, and it kind of just vindicated me because I remember telling you and you were like, "Really, sell?" I'm like, dude, they had 2 good weeks against the 2 worst teams in football. Like this shit is not going to sustain. Like, let's not forget how they looked against every other team that was decent. And again, it's kind of making me like, hey, Luke Getsy got fired. Shout out to you for seeing his last game. Shane Waldron, his ass should be on the chopping block because their offense is a mess. It is a mess.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of stuff. I was a victim of TikTok today. I seen this play that someone was pointing out from DJ Moore. How he was just so nonchalant running a speed out, and it was just so slow. And it was just like, dude, like the effort that he was putting in. But they didn't say the time in the game. Like, was it first quarter? Was it fourth?
I just think it's weird to see these plays pop up and like, the players see them. Like, again, I don't want to. That's why I didn't say like, oh, DJ Moore's like a quitter. Like, like sometimes with George Pickens, with Fields, I was like, oh, he's just pissed off. He's not getting the ball. Yeah. So I don't know the situation more because I didn't get a chance to watch the whole game.
I'm still not gonna go out of my way and say that Caleb Williams is some bust. I think a lot of people are salivating at the mouth to say that because he's struggling right now. But I think the whole team as a whole is struggling with Caleb. Like their line still sucks. They had some good weeks against Jacksonville or whatever, but they still have these issues. And you're just without a good offensive line, you're gonna look bad. And I think it's showing. Like the offensive play calls, it's just not good. It's not good in Chicago. They're not a good team. Okay, that 4-2 record was a bunch of bullshit. It's just they're not that good of a team, and people need to stop looking at them like that. The Cardinals, on the other hand, we'll see, man. They're getting a little frisky, man. The NFC West is wide open. The Niners are there. The Rams are there.
They ran the ball 23 times for 70 yards. The Cardinals ran it 34 for 200.
Yeah,
there's a difference, and it's just a case of their offense is bad. Like we've been seeing it, man. And then they did. Remember last week against the Commanders where they give the ball to the fucking lineman, he fumbles it. I'm like, you guys are dumb. Like I get it. Like people are gonna say, well, they should be 5-3 right now, the Hail Mary. But I'm like, they didn't play well in that game. They didn't. Caleb Williams looked bad for 3 quarters and made some magic at the end. So, like I said, I think the Bears' worst days are ahead of them too because they haven't played the Lions. Did they play the Lions? I don't think so.
I don't think they played the Lions yet.
I don't think they played anyone in their division, right?
They have played the Have they played the Vikings?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. Vikings either. I think they've just played the Packers.
Let me see.
I think that's the only team they played. That's kind of crazy if they haven't played a division game.
They've played the Titans, the Texans, the Colts, the Rams, the Panthers, the Jaguars, the Commanders. They haven't played a division game.
That's crazy.
They haven't.
They're in it. Oh my God. That can be. They can lose at least 5 of those division games.
They play the Patriots this week. Then they play the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, the 49ers, the Vikings, the Lions, the Seahawks. That is fucking hell.
Stretch. That's a hell of a stretch.
Like I said, that's why I was like, sell, man. Sell this team.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. Talk about struggling. They lose to the Buffalo Bills this weekend. Tough loss. Josh Allen continues to show why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. MVP conversation, by the way. The Dolphins, on the other hand, just not enough, man. Just not enough plays. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle continue to struggle even with Tua in the lineup. What do you think about the Miami Dolphins, Max?
I just think they're not that good of a football team. I know it's kind of a cop-out. I felt like this for a long time. I feel like they're kind of a bitch to scheme against because they have a lot of talent at, like, premium positions. but they're all like flash, no substance. Like we've said, they lack toughness. I truly don't. I know the game ended up being close. I thought the Bills missed a couple of chances to really kill them, and it's just typical. It's like you never win this game. Y'all never win. You've never like anytime it's a big game against a division opponent like the Bills, you never win it. And it's just I'm not blaming Tua. His first game back from a big injury. He obviously knows the offense better than any quarterback, but it's just not enough. It's not enough. And again, I'm not saying you should fire Mike McDaniel. It's just something's got to change. Something's got to change. And it's kind of hard because you've given all this money to your players, and it's kind of like, well, where are you going to come up with it? Like, what's next on the? They let Christian Wilkins walk, Juan. They chose offense over defense, right? And they can't stop anything.
Right. You're absolutely right. They're finesse. They're not tough. That's kind of the identity of their team, and the Bills are just a little bit tougher than them. Like, it's just they get them every time. We'll see what happens with the Dolphins. Right now, as it stands, I can bring up the...
what do you think?
I mean, I agree with you, Max.
Taking the Tua injury out of it, right? Again, but that's on them too. Like, they don't get a fucking pass because they didn't have a backup plan. It's not like if the Bills were like, damn, we lost Josh Allen, I'd be like, well, that kind of sucks. You've never not had him all the time, right? Like, knock on wood or whatever. But you knew, right? Like, you're like, oh.
But look at Trubisky. Trubisky's solid. He's not fucking... What's his name? He's not... Who was the backup? Garbage dude? Tim Boyle? Was it?
Oh, yeah. And then they get, what's his name after, Huntley, who I think was... Like, he would have been great if you give him the whole offseason. Let him fucking learn it. Like, you just throw him into the Wolves. You're like, oh, here you go.
Skylar Thompson. That's who it is. Like, when you have Skylar Thompson, it's like he's one of the worst backups I've seen ever. The stock on Mike McDaniels has gone down for me this year. It really has. Just the way that... Don't
get it wrong. I would still like his... I would still love him as an OC somewhere, you know? Like, if you put him on the Bears, would you be like, oh, it sounds good. Definitely take him over Shane Waldron, right? You would.
Yeah.
But as the head coach, it's not just your job to have a great offense. You know what I mean? Like, I know you talk about with head coaches, like, you should have... Like, your specialty, you should be good at. But there's other shit, too. Like, you kids can't... Like Eberflus, like, hey, you have a good defense, but there's other shit.
Right.
There's other shit to it.
Yeah, 100%. I got the standings up for the audience, Max. I don't know if you want to look it up on your computer. But I got the AFC standings. I wanted to bring this up just because I think this is a good time for our next topic. The Chiefs sit alone at the top, 8-0. They just find ways to win. As the playoff picture goes right now, it stops at the Denver Broncos. They're 5-4. Teams that are on the bubble, the Colts, the Bengals, the Jets are still there. That would probably be it. The Dolphins are sitting at 2-6. They're done.
They're done.
Yeah, I think they're done. I don't think they go on a run here. But when you're talking about
they play the Rams next week too, and then the Raiders are a tough out, real tough.
Yeah, we'll see what they do against the Raiders. But the Chiefs, Max, talk about them. They're 8-0. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. DeAndre Hopkins, their newly acquired wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, scored 2 touchdowns in this game.
Great move.
Mahomes looked... I thought he looked pretty damn good. He had to throw the ball more than usual in this game, you know?
He got banged up.
Yeah, he got banged up and he came back and he still won in overtime.
Anything
this is what the Chiefs do.
On the trade, really quick. I think it's a great move. Why wouldn't you make this move? Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, they gave up like a 6, a 5. Who cares?
They gave up a 5th that can become a 4th round pick depending on
They don't care. The Chiefs only... if I'm the Chiefs, I only value my first 3 picks. I know that sounds stupid, but if I can get like someone who can help my team win, what's the cost of a 4th one? Who cares?
Yeah. Look, the Titans... I seen this tweet the other day. The Titans...
The one about stop giving trading. Like, they can't trade anymore.
Yeah, like everyone wants to shit on the Giants about Saquon Barkley, but it's like the Titans have gave up DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry to 2 of the AFC contenders.
AJ Brown.
And AJ Brown. And it's like...
Yeah. The Hop one, I get. Like, come on. Like, the
Yeah.
Hop, like, he doesn't really move the needle for the Chiefs that much. He definitely
And
helps, but
honestly, D Hop doesn't move the needle for any teams besides like 3 teams in the league. I would say it's like Buffalo, Kansas City, and maybe the Lions. You know?
no, not the Lions. I don't know.
I mean, there's not
I
that
would
many
say like
teams.
his biggest impact would be with those teams, right? Like,
Yes.
if he's gonna move the needle from like let's say you're moving the needle from 1 to 10, maybe a 5 on the Chiefs compared to like, oh, he got traded to the Jets, it's like a 2.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this does more for the Chiefs than trading for Devontae is gonna help the Jets.
Yeah.
Right, and the Jets traded Mike Williams to Pittsburgh.
Yes, they did.
I like that for the Steelers.
They also traded for Preston Smith from the Packers.
That's smart. I can't believe. What does that mean? Were you surprised to see Preston Smith moved?
I was. I was surprised that he went to the Steelers out of all teams. They're stacked. They have Highsmith, they have Watt, and they got Preston Smith. So just another guy in the rotation. I think all 3 of those guys can be on the field at the same time, possibly. I love it. Absolutely love it. The Steelers are gearing up.
One. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're gearing up. If their offense can just keep on, getting these big plays from Russ and looking good with George Pickens and Najee Harris, watch out for the Steelers. The Steelers are just one of those teams you just don't want to play because they're annoying. They're just an annoying
Mike Williams
team to
is
play.
a great Russ receiver.
Yes, great Russ receiver, bro. Russ loves receivers like that. So we'll see what happens with the Steelers. Great moves by them. Let's talk about their rivals. We'll go to the Ravens. The Ravens beat the donkey shit out of the Broncos, all pun intended. Bo Nix just did not look good in this game.
Rookie quarterbacks don't fare well against the Ravens.
Yeah, he's a rookie, so, it's not that bad. Zay Flowers went off. Lamar looking like the front runner MVP again. Look, the Ravens are going to do what the Ravens do, and they're really, really good, okay? They're going to be there in January. They make a trade for Deontay Johnson from the Panthers. They gave up a 5th-round pick and a 6th, so a 5th and a 6th for Deontay Johnson. I like the move again.
Trey White. They got Trey White, too, from the Rams, which I was like, Trey White's not great. He's definitely a good corner who can help them. You know what I mean? Because they're thin. They're thin, it seems like. Every week they have a defensive back go down.
Yeah. And Trey White wasn't even playing all that much for the Rams.
Yeah, what did Deontay Johnson, what did he get traded for from the Steelers?
He wasn't.
I think they gave him a 2nd. Yeah, he was
traded. He was a free agent, wasn't he?
No. I'm pretty sure they traded him to Steelers. I think so. I'm going to look that up right now. Because I think they trade like a...
Nah, he was a free agent, Max, I think.
The Steelers traded Johnson to the Panthers this offseason in exchange for cornerback Dante Jackson.
Oh, okay.
That's who it was. I think there was a pick or something in there. It was like a 5th or something. I mean, whatever. Like, Deontay Johnson's whatever, but he's definitely a help. Like, just another weapon, another piece in the fucking chessboard. That's all the good
teams. All the good teams are getting these players where they're not super impactful as far as to the point where it's going to swing the other way to win a Super Bowl, but it's definitely going to help. Like, just...
Oh, like, can you see Deontay Johnson having, like, kind of a big game and, like, a playoff game for them? Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah. 100%.
I'm surprised by this. I'm surprised that the good teams, how the bad teams are really like, here, we'll trade. We're good. Here we go. Let's do it. Right? Like, the bad teams being the Saints, the Panthers were like, here. Oh, one trade from the Panthers, they traded J.C. Horn to Seattle. That could be a good move for Seattle. That could be a good. I feel like J.C. Horn is one of those guys who's like just dying from his team, and like I don't even like him that much, but I know how much you've liked him. Like, I'm sure you're excited for him.
I'm excited. I think it's a big move because I think Tariq Woolen kind of lost his job on Sunday. It was bad. He got cooked up on Sunday by DeMarcus Robinson and Cooper Kupp.
I will say this one real quick. It seems like Like, that's kind of crazy. They trade the 8th pick in the draft from like 3 years ago for what? Nothing? Like a 4th? It just kind of shows you the mess the Panthers are. But continue. Continue, please.
Just to stay on the Panthers just for a little bit, they traded Jonathan Mingo for Ford to the Cowboys.
And Thielen. They traded 3 receivers. It's crazy. I actually like the Mingo. I think he could be
I love the Mingo. I thought the fact that you picked this guy in the second, you were on your way to getting an absolute zero for him. At least you're going to get something back for him.
Yeah. Cowboy fans, you wanted Devontae. Here's Jonathan Mingo. Maybe he can tackle. Maybe he can throw the ball this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, that's the problem.
Let's look at the NFC standings. I'm going to lead into this one. 7-1 at the top with the Detroit Lions. You got Commanders. You got the Falcons. You got the Cardinals. You got the Vikings. And then you got the Eagles.
Do you think the Lions are in a tier by themselves in the NFC?
Yes. 100%.
I think so too.
Yeah, 100%. Now, if you look down here, you got the Seahawks, you got the Bucks, and you got the Rams. I think these 3 teams are interesting because it's going to come down to one of these teams potentially winning their division. Because the Bucks still have a chance. I know they lost to the Falcons twice, but I do think they have the capability of going on a run, and the Falcons have a capability of dropping some games. And then I really wanted to talk about the Rams. They're 4-4. They're second in the division behind the Niners and the Cardinals. They beat the Seattle Seahawks this weekend in very impressive fashion in overtime.
Can I say one thing? Seattle, you deserve to lose that fucking game. You were dumb. You were dumb the whole game. You didn't deserve to win it. Continue.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford just amazes me every single week, Max, with the amount of throws that he gets off where it's just like, wow. Like that's why he's a potential Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback. I like the Rams. I do. I think they're getting hot at the right time.
They're getting healthy.
They're getting healthy at the right time.
I think they got Kevin Dotson starting again. Yeah. Havenstein's there. They're missing Steve Avila and they're missing Jonah Jackson, but I think those guys are on the short-term IR. If they can get those 2 linemen back, dude, the Rams went from arguably having one of the worst O-lines in football 3 years ago to like having a decent freaking line real quick.
Yeah.
Like I really am curious to see if they can get healthy and they can keep rolling. It's going to be big, and I think they're dangerous because they're dangerous because of McVay.
They're dangerous because of McVay. They have all their receivers back. Puka's back, even though he got ejected out of the game. They still won. That's where you want Demarcus Robinson as the third option. Look pretty good as it. They got Kyron Williams, who seems to find the end zone every single play. Big shout out to Kitchens, Miami safety.
I heard he's playing really good.
Yeah, he had a crazy pick 6 in the game that really turned that tide. Just little eval note on me. I did have Kitchens on my safeties to watch in the draft.
No one likes to show off. Continue.
Yeah, I'm just saying somebody on my right here just kind of shitted on me because he was slow, Didn't look too slow on that pick 6. But that's besides the point.
One had Bryce on QB1. Continue.
I hate you. But out of the NFC West, Max, you got the Cardinals, you got the Rams, and you got the Niners. Who are you putting your money on to win that division? Because I think that's the most interesting one.
I still think it's the 49ers. But, man, the Cardinals, and I feel like the 49ers will win it, but it's a bloodbath where in recent years it's kind of been 49ers.
Well, the Rams have already beaten the Niners. They're 1-0.
Correct. Yeah, I know. I was saying that. I think I would still bet my money on the Niners, but I think the Rams and Cardinals, even Seattle, are going to take a pound of flesh. Like, they are all kind of pain in the ass. Like, next year, this division could be scary.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the
NFC
Rams.
South one. Yeah, you're going to Rams. Wow.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen out of the Rams. I think they're dangerous. Their offense is really good. I think they're loaded on offense. And the Niners, on the other hand, you're really just banging on McCaffrey. Honestly.
No, I'm not.
I think. Like, I think they're going to be good. They're going to be good regardless, Max, without him. But to be that dominant team that we've known them to be and be a playoff contender, McCaffrey's going to have to be healthy. I'm sorry.
I agree. Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Oh, the camera fell. All right. Anyway, anything else, Max, that you wanted to talk about?
No, I was happy with the trade deadline. I'm glad we got some movement. The only last, I'll say one more thing. Who's the next coach fired? I think Doug Peterson's days. I don't even know how he got out of that game against Philly. I don't know how he flew back with the team. That's, to me, the Eagles, like, if Saquon doesn't fumble that ball where he falls down, they're going to blow him out.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts, but I think Doug Peterson's a dead man walking.
Yeah. Max put the Cowboys on our list. I didn't want to talk about them all that much.
McCarthy,
just because
they suck. They
suck.
fucking suck.
Yeah.
And maybe if you traded for Devontae Adams, everything would be fine. Maybe he'd help the run defense, the coaching, the fucking offensive line that sucks. Right?
Right.
Dude, first of all, Tyler Guyton looks really bad. I'm going to rant a little. Tyler Guyton looks really bad. Would you agree?
Yes.
They invested a lot of money in Terrence Steele, who just gets beat like a fucking drum, it seems, every play. Zach Martin can only do so much. Hey, I like Cooper Beebe. And Tyler Smith, like, I kind of feel like he's taking a little bit of a step back too. But again, it all comes down to the coach. The coaching for them puts them in a disadvantage every freaking week. And it's just, yeah, they're hurt. I get it. I get they're hurt. But their coaching has been a problem. Every fucking week it's penalties. Dumb penalties. Like, oh, there's 12 men in the huddle. Oh, okay. That's a thing, right? Like, the Raiders suck, but do they put 12 men in the huddle every week? Every week there's 12 men, right?
No.
They're a joke. They should fire McCarthy. They should have fired him so many times before. Let's see if he. Now Dak's hurt. They can't fire him. You got an excuse.
You guys know my thoughts on the Cowboys. They suck. I went all in week 2 when they got their shit kicked by the Saints, and I said that they were a bad team.
Who kicked the shit out of them week 1? Oh no, they beat the Giants, right?
Yeah.
Week 1.
Yeah.
Typical them.
But I think that's gonna do it, guys. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. All the love and support that we've been getting. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video, comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have. Anything else, Max? Laker corner?
No, that's it.
You're good?
No, I can't. And after that
loss of the Pistons.
We did Clippers corner because I went to the game. There you
go. We did Clippers corner. We'll see you guys later on in the week. I'll see if I can get that vlog out to you guys this week. And a couple of clips, all right? Till then, we out. Peace.
Everything ain't what it seems. Glittering gold, both clean. Not on my team. This organic, we don't buy.